In December 2008, a 70-year-old man sat his two sons down in his Manhattan penthouse and told them a secret he'd hidden for almost 20 years. What he said next would end with $65 billion gone, thousands of lives destroyed, and the largest financial fraud in American history. This is how he got away with it for so long. Bernard Madoff wasn't some con man who came out of nowhere. He was Wall Street royalty. In 1960, at just 22 years old, he started a small trading firm with $5,000 he saved from lifeguarding. Over the next 3 decades, he built it into one of the most respected trading operations in the country. He even helped create the NASDAQ stock exchange and served as its chairman, not once, but 3 separate times. By the 1990s, Madoff ran a private investment arm that promised something almost too good to be true: steady returns of 10 to 12% every single year, no matter what the market did. Crashes, recessions, wars, it didn't matter. Madoff's fund always delivered. Getting in wasn't easy either. He turned people away. Rich retirees, Hollywood celebrities, European royalty, Jewish charities, even other banks, they all begged to invest with him. Being a client of Bernie Madoff wasn't just an investment, it was a status symbol. But a few people noticed something strange. Harry Markopolos, a financial analyst, ran the numbers in 1999 and immediately knew something was wrong. No legitimate strategy could produce those returns that consistently. He wrote a report, then another, then another. 9 years of warnings sent straight to the Securities and Exchange Commission. Nobody listened. Madoff was too respected, too connected, too trusted. The warnings just disappeared into a filing cabinet. Here's the trick, and it's actually incredibly simple. Madoff wasn't investing anyone's money at all. When a new client handed him $1 million, that money didn't go into stocks or bonds. It went into a bank account. Then, when an older client wanted to withdraw their profits, Madoff simply paid them using the new client's money. That's it. That's the entire scheme. As long as more money kept coming in than was going out, nobody asked questions. Everyone saw fake statements showing incredible gains. Statements that were completely made up in a back office using an outdated computer system from the 1960s. What made Madoff's version so dangerous wasn't just the lie, it was the size and the patience. Most Ponzi schemes collapse in a year or two because the math simply doesn't hold up. Madoff ran his for almost 2 decades. He achieved this by being selective. By turning people away, he created scarcity. By keeping returns modest, not spectacular, just steady, he avoided the kind of attention a scheme promising 50% returns would attract. It felt boring. It felt safe. And boring, safe, and exclusive is exactly what made billionaires, banks, and charities all hand him their life savings without asking a single hard question. Then, in the fall of 2008, the financial crisis hit the entire world at once. Panicked investors everywhere needed cash, and they all came asking Madoff for their money back at the same time. For the first time in almost 20 years, more money was going out than coming in. The machine that had run flawlessly for 2 decades suddenly had nothing left to pay with. Madoff knew immediately it was over. There was no more new money to cover the withdrawals. On December 10, 2008, he told his sons the truth for the first time. The entire business was, in his own words, one big lie. His sons reported him to federal authorities the very next day. Bernie Madoff was arrested at his apartment on December 11, 2008. When investigators finally opened the books, the number was almost impossible to comprehend. $65 billion in claimed value, made up almost entirely of fictional profits. Real losses, actual money that vanished, were estimated between $18 and $20 billion. Thousands of people lost their retirement savings overnight. Charities that had trusted Madoff with their entire endowments were forced to shut down completely. Some victims lost everything just days before they were set to retire. In June 2009, Bernie Madoff stood before a federal judge in New York. He pleaded guilty to 11 felony counts. The judge sentenced him to 150 years in prison, the maximum possible sentence, and a clear message that there would be no mercy for the scale of what he'd done. Bernie Madoff died in prison in April 2021, having served just over 12 years of his sentence. But the story didn't end with him. A court-appointed trustee spent over a decade tracking down and clawing back money from people who had unknowingly profited from the scheme, eventually recovering more than $14 billion, a huge portion of what was actually lost. It remains one of the largest financial recovery efforts in American history. In the end, Bernie Madoff's scheme didn't survive because of a brilliant strategy. It survived because of something much simpler. Nobody wants to be the one who questions the man everyone else trusts. That's the real lesson behind the biggest fraud in American history, and it's a lesson that's repeated itself in smaller ways again and again ever since. If you want to see more real stories behind the biggest financial moments in history, subscribe, because this is just the first one.